All right, welcome back. This is Shadow Drone, part 2 of my laser engraver slash CNC frame kit. It took me about 2.5 hours to build. And that includes taking a 20-minute lunch break. So definitely had to read the instructions over multiple times. Instructions get a little confusing, but you could figure it out quite easily. It just takes a few. Once you get it figured out, it's pretty simple. The only problem I had was the X-axis carriage, which is this with the laser, and basically there are two different size brass spacers, and I had put the larger one and one of the smaller ones, and then the wheel wouldn't line up with the race, so I had to take it all apart again. So the only thing is that the X carriage on this uses the bigger spacers, when the Y on the sides uses the smaller spacers. So otherwise, the kit went together quite well. It's a good fit, fairly simple to install, just to assemble, and I'm happy with it. Like I said, it took me a little bit to get it put together and then adjust the power of the motor gears to line up with the motor belt. Okay. And otherwise, it works quite well. And as you can see, it moves forward and backwards. I've got the cables all wrapped. And I'm going to clean the cables up. And then I'm going to put it all together. Now, I think since my laser is at least another week or two away, I think I'm just going to take the small laser that I put on my Sovol 3D printer and go ahead and install it on the carriage so I can start playing with it. Once the 40-watt laser arrives, I'll just swap out the laser again, and I'm good to go. So it seems to work. It seems to look good. It's sturdy. I'm impressed with it considering the price. I definitely would recommend it if any of you guys want to go up a notch and instead of utilizing your 3D printer with a laser, and just go straight out and just buy a frame kit if you already have the laser. It's definitely worth it. For $120 is what it cost me on Amazon. They just sold out, but there's other sellers there that are about, I think, $10 more. But it's the same kit. Like I said, it's well made. It fits perfectly. I used a corner tool to make sure it's perfectly square, and it's perfectly square. So the cuts are good. The aluminum are well cut. All the plastic acrylic pieces are well cut. No sharp edges. All the screws, the tracks, the belts, everything fits perfectly. Very impressed with this kit. So at this point, no negatives on it as far as anything goes. I definitely think it's worth the $120 that I paid for it, especially since it came with a control board, which I didn't think it did because it didn't say. It actually said no laser or control board included. But anyway, it's worth it. Now, I do have an extra control board, but it's always good to have a spare, I guess. If this puppy fries, then I can always get another. I can just use the one I have, and then once that one goes, I'll upgrade to a offline controller, which basically gives me an LED screen, kind of like the Sovol printers have, so I don't need a computer hooked up to it, which personally I kind of like, because I'm a little skeptic about downloading the software from the website, because these Chinese softwares on these websites that they point you to kind of, I don't know, it just kind of wary, especially since, and this is nothing personal towards Chinese companies or anything like that, but you never know. A lot of that software could have viruses in it and Trojan horses and all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I have a old gaming PC that I rebuilt a couple years ago, and never really used it. I don't know why I did it, but I did, and it's running Windows 7. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that old PC and load the software for this, and then I will have a dedicated PC for this unit. So I don't use my high-end PC that I have here that I use for everything else. All right. Well, I hope this gives you guys some ideas. Like I said, this is definitely a thumbs up, and I definitely recommend it. If you have any questions about this, I will be posting one final video when this thing is up and running, so you guys can see the performance on it. But so far, I'm happy with it. Like I said, I give it a 5-star on the parts. Very stable, very well made. Everything fits together perfectly. There's no, it's not off anywhere where it can tweak the frame, where the frame isn't perfectly square. It's perfectly square. It's great. And we'll see. Like I said, we still have to test the motors. Don't know if the motors work yet. But I did see these motors on Amazon. They're like under $20. So if you ever need to replace them, you can get them on Amazon. So it's a quick and easy swap, Other than that, it's a good deal. All right, guys. Have fun. Have a nice weekend. Stay safe. And Shadow Drone out.